With the war going on, people are coming back to their homes being taken over by bandits. No wonder the people outside Riften are miserable.
Halt. You approach the Vigilant of Stenda. State your business. I apologize, but I cannot and will not abandon the Vigilance at this hour. War is upon us. I can only hope that those at the hall have prepared themselves. Then Stenda have mercy upon us all. We came here on rumors that a Dawn God was forming, and found scant evidence as to why. Keeper Carsette saw no reason to pursue it further. Nevertheless, she sent a few of us to scout the rift. In the event any leads turned up, I was on my way here when I was assaulted by 4 Nightwalkers. I would not be alive if not for a chance encounter with my old Thalmor friend Julrulith. Her magic is still formidable, and her politics still reprehensible. Thankfully, on that day, I only needed one. Then you must look elsewhere. I make no bargains. If you truly wish to lend a hand, then commit yourself to the Order. Only then can... Vampires. To arms, vigilance!
Who's this?
Rend them all to dust!
Rotten, burning. Never served the guy.
You fought valiantly, adventurer. I am in your debt. As you have proven yourself to walk in the light, then perhaps I was wrong to deny your request. What exactly is this task you speak of? Yes, it seems the gods shine their gaze upon you, and Stenda could have very well brought you here, so that I may drag your foes into the light. You have my attention, pilgrim. What is it you ask of me? Then you will have it, pilgrim. Walk always in the light.
Protect yourself right.
All praise be to Mara. Death to those who turn away from her embrace. Indeed. But I am not here to wed. I'll consider it. But if it's passing out Dinya's letters, then rest assured, I already do. Then perhaps you are the forgiveness I seek. Very well. I will help you on your pilgrimage. Understood. Mara, protect us both.
Your voice, I've always known you were special. Maybe that's what it's been all along. No matter what, it doesn't change who you are on the inside. That's what counts. So whatever comes next, count me in. I'll be right behind you. Anytime. Now come on, adventure awaits, remember?
Yes? That sounds vital. And Dibell has chosen me to be her champion? What an honor! I'll need to get my hair done and my armor polished. I need to look my best. Oh gods, what if my best isn't good enough? What if there's someone else prettier? What do the others look like? Wait, is this some kind of tournament? Why haven't I heard about it? Why hasn't anyone told me? Okay, I accept on both counts. Just say the word and I'm right behind you. Until next time.
Have you ever hated someone so much you just wanted to bite off his eyes? That's when you know you hate a man. I mean really, really hate him. You can punch someone in the throat. You can even make them wear your dagger like a hat. But nothing is as raw and as pure as using your teeth. Not me. I want him to know. I want the last thing he sees to be my bloody gums. Gabriel. Just saying his name makes me want to take a pair of hot pliers and twist off his nose. He's a snitch. Told the guards about the bandits I used to run with before he hired me. But even after I served my time, he's had them toss me in the dungeon on some trumped up charge. Now he's got the whole city thinking I'm some killer. And if you say something enough times, people start believing it's true. We used to be friends. I thought we were brothers. When he snitched to the god, we became something else. No, Chester. Not even close. What we became goes beyond words. But if I ever get to slam my fist into his nose, I'll let you know if I find some. He has a thing for one of the guards. He has a thing for me. But that ain't a good reason why. Because there ain't no good reason for what he's done. But what he's done, it's reason enough for what I'll do to him. I'm going to nail his hand to the table, and then bend back his thumbs until they pop right off. I'll press my elbow against his throat, get real close, and then I'll chew off his eyes like a couple of hard-boiled eggs. You're a bloody salt, but you ain't lying. If I had any guts, I wouldn't give a damn about dying, as long as he went down with me. But I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of knowing he won. When I bite off his face, I don't want to see him smile. By the hist, you're serious? You've got the wrong guy, stranger. Alright. I guess it couldn't hurt my reputation. People seeing me as a priest of bloody Talos. Here, have it. You're bloody blessed. Yeah? As if the gods need a reason to beat down an Argonian. Of course, a little go-go always helps grease the wheels, and Gabriel's fingers are covered in grease. You mean, like, sabotage? That ain't what I do.
This city is too great. Ask the women for their makeup. Have the artists donate their palettes. We will wash the stones with colors of happiness.
I've heard rumors that Jarl Elsif is willing to name a second Thane of Solitude. Imagine what we could get away with.
Winking Skeever. Take a load off and enjoy the atmosphere.
Hey, sister, you look thirsty. Tell you what, you give me 1,000 gold pieces and I'll buy you a drink. Right in my pockets is a good place to start. And maybe my coin purse, and my sack too. Or just dump it on the table. I'm not all that picky. You keep the clink flowing, and I'll be more than happy to buy you more drinks. I'd even offer you my blade, if you're in need of it. It's pretty simple. In this world, you got people who want other people dead. They pay me to kill them. The choice is as clear as the reasons, sister. Belran likes to say, you can go for a swordsman or a spellcaster, but why not have both? He likes to say that a lot. Why not have both? I'll tell you why. It's like you're out for a meal, you get the choice of pie or fish. Belrand is like a pie made out of fish. Why not have both? That's why. It's just the way it is. Maybe if you're some kind of genius, you could pull it off. Or maybe if you're young and fast enough to handle both. In that case, you might be alright with Belrand. It's not like he's some decrepit old sellsword with a brain the size of my balls. Oh, wait.
Time for some ale and
I tend to have only happy thoughts. Mostly because I only think about one thing. It's round, gold, and buys me mead. My next opinion of the war will be my first. My only opinions on the dragons is that I don't care.
Alright, let's see what's on the menu.
Probably. So's killing men. I'll stick to what I know.
Can I help you?
I'll just have some
Yeah?
steamed mud crab
It might
with
cost you extra, depending on how dangerous it is.
Let's see.
Hell, make it dangerous enough and it might cost you less. But it'll still cost. True, but 1,000 gold gets you regular mercenary work. For this kind of special request, I'll need about 200 more. You got yourself a deal. And don't worry, you're getting the better end of it. And I believe I owe you a drink. Is that right? Didn't really think about it. Just tried to put a number on what you're getting. Hey, I'm just a dumb old merc. Don't know nothing about anything. but I'll lower my prices when people stop paying them.
Is that everything?
Onward we march for Dibella's glory. Divines bless us with their beauty.
How may I be of service? I am Arundel, a Thalmor Justicia and advisor working on behalf of the Aldmeri Dominion. The embassy's role is to entertain the Jarls. My role is of a more military nature. I advise on minor decrees and local ordinances, and ensure they align with the interests of the Thalmor. Ah, flattery. A tool of both the unctuous and the earnest. The question is, which are you? Or, to put it more simply, what do you really want? If it is a blessing you desire, then you are in the wrong building. Such divinations are performed by priests at the altar. Ah, so you seek to use my hubris against me. Well played. However, there is no need for such mental sorcery. If all you require is my blessing, then I see no harm in doing so. Nevertheless, I would be remiss if I did not request something in return. I would like to be escorted to the Thalmor Embassy. Surely in your company, the ruffians outside will not make trouble. Excellent. Let us depart immediately. We have arrived. A pleasant surprise, all things considered. Now to fulfill my part of the bargain. I give you the blessing of Julianos. May his wisdom guide you on your quest. As for myself, I have an urgent meeting with Eleanor and I must attend to. Will someone please come to the gate? Do not let my appearance dissuade you. I am a Thalmor Justicia. Hello? Anyone?
I could stay in these woods forever. The smell, the sounds, the various travelers just asking for their coin purses to be liberated.
A lot of hunters live in this hole. It's like exploring caves, only outdoors. You really have to get up high, though, to enjoy the view.
I couldn't do it, Yorin. She was right there in front of me. I begged Ifrit to give me courage, and still it wasn't enough. Gods forgive me. I couldn't do it. Even if it had to be done, I don't care what she's become. It's not fair to ask a child to slay her own mother. What are you doing here? Sorry. It's the name I've given this Nord carving. It helps sometimes, having someone there, even if he isn't real. I was supposed to slay her. The hunters, they said she was killing their own. It was easy for me to track the blood. There was so much of it, and the forest was so angry. I could hear the insects beat their wings like 1,000 tiny drums. When I reached the barrow, I saw something. It was bigger than any creature I'd ever seen. I managed to wound it, but when it came time for the killing blow, I couldn't. Somehow I knew it was still her. So I ran. When I returned, the hunters stormed off into the woods to finish the job. I don't know what they expected of me. I couldn't hurt her. How could anyone? I had to. She was my responsibility. But I couldn't. The hunters, the gods, they gave me a chance to make things right, and I failed them. Do you think she's dead? The roadside ruins. That's where I dropped my bow. If you find it, I'd like it back. But if you forgive me, I pray you don't find anything else. None that bothered to stop. Although, there was that Nord from Riften who spent the night. Good question. It sounded sort of like Hagraven, but that couldn't be it. That would be an awful thing to name a child. He did, but I'm warning you, you won't like how I tell it. Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you. The tale I remember best was about his adventure in the Reach. Then, when he felt all was lost, a voice shouted out, "The blood's all below your waist!" No. Wait. That part comes later? Oh, Ifri's bones. I really messed it up, didn't I? No, it's too late. Wasn't that great of a story anyway. My bow! You found it! And my mother? Do you think she's safe? Listen to me. Worried about her when so many are dead. If you forgive me. When my mother lived in Valenwood, she came across an old tree that made for the perfect home, if not for a single wayward limb. A travelling outsider offered to cut it down, and from the wood he fashioned a bow. Together they would later form a village. It wasn't the best wood, and it isn't much of a bow, but for Mother, it was a piece of home. For me, this bow is a piece of her. I thank you for returning it. If there's anything you need, I will do my best to help. That sounds a bit scary, but if you think I can help, then I'm willing to go through with it. Alright. As a city elf, this feels a bit odd, but I give you her blessing, and mine. I feel like I need to learn more about my heritage. Stop being a city girl.
traveler. It's not often we get visitors this far up the mountainside, but I'm sure Vachlokmir is pleased to have the company. Vachlokmir is not a pet. If anything, I am his. Oh, do you speak dragon? How wonderful! Maybe that will get Vachlokmir talking. He's very loyal, but very shy. To the north, in the forest of Falkreath, I was tracking an elk with hoofprints as big as the white stag of legend. I meandered through the forest, my eyes fixated on the dirt, when I found the track stamped over by a much larger print. As I ran my fingers across the edges, a long shadow crept over my body, and it wasn't until then that I took my eyes off the ground. I shrieked so loud the birds and the cicadas fled from the trees. Suddenly, once I was all out of screams and all out of breath, I realized I was still alive. That's when I noticed the arrow lodged into his wing. He doesn't like it when I say so, but Vachlokmir is very sensitive. The wound was minor, but I knew he needed my help. So I reached for an old hunter's salve I had in my satchel, and I decided to heal him. It kindles my heart to know that there are those who judge not by fear and rumor, but by truth and honor. Vachlokmir did no more than grunt when I dug my hands into his scales and climbed up his great back. I maneuvered his spine, grabbing fangs of rock that jutted from his skin. The arrow was right there, near the crook where his body met his wing. I clutched the arrow by the fletchings, yanking it out with all my strength. Too much strength. The force of it made me lose my balance. I would have fell to the ground and croaked my skull, if Vachlokmir didn't swivel his head around to catch me. But even after I applied the poultice and a healing spell, Vachlokmir was in no condition to fly. Mentally anyway. And it wasn't long before some of the other hunter folk came stumbling through in search of prey. There were two of them, dressed in scale armor, with bright silver coins of light shining off their chest plates. When I heard their voices laughing through the trees, I dove into the thickest of grass and lay in wait, my dagger clenched. The hunters, meanwhile, drew their weapons, their eyes mesmerized by the great beast that lay wounded before them. Most would have fled at the sight of Vachlokmir, but when the dragon covered at the sight of them, it only gave them courage. A hunter seeks every advantage, which is why he traps animals he aims to kill. Yet these folk sought to murder, not to hunt. When the hunters came, Vachlokmir curled up his head and tail, hiding under the canopy of wings. He was so teeny. The hunters laughed as they split up to flank him. Slaying a dragon was great prestige. Nobody would ever believe it wasn't. I pulled the dagger from my teeth and watched as the shorter one circled toward me. I could practically smell the stink hopping off his force. I rose to a crouch and raised my arms to his throat. When my nose betrayed me, I sneezed. Both hunters turned toward me, but I managed to get the short one. All I felt was the rush and the hot spray of blood trickling down my leg. My body was on fire, but I was scared. Perhaps Vachlokmir sensed this, because as the other hunter charged, he unfurled his wings and let out a roar. The sky shook and the earth cracked, and the man flicked like no man I've ever seen. But I reckoned he'd be back, maybe with the city guard. We had to hide, although the hardest part was convincing Vachlokmir he could still fly. You're a very kind adventurer. Perhaps you would like to stay for dinner? Vaglokmir is getting quite good at hunting deer. Many folk would shy away from a dragon, but it is Vaglokmir who shies from all. I am sorry, but he is not a weapon of war. Vaglokmir is not comfortable with readers. I would not ask this of him. If Vaglokmir was the one to speak, I am sure he would. But perhaps a gentle nod is good enough? Vaglokmir, what say you? Do you traveler? It seems to have worked. And I think he likes you. Not many folk does he approve. Well, I trust you got what you came for. Goodbye.